And
Are we gonna write a script about this?
no, we're just going in blind. It's fine. Um,
Nice.
yeah, and then we could try to compare it to Final Fantasy 14, and then bring up what you put out, and I
I
could destroy that real quick. But
I don't think we. I don't think. I mean, it's your podcast, obviously, but like comparing the two companies. I mean, what's the end goal in that?
is to get everyone to go to Final Fantasy instead.
That's fantastic.
That's
Like,
that's.
yeah.
I feel like there's a sarcasm
No, no,
there.
no. That's it.
It's genuine because
Yeah.
like people who want to play WoW need something else if they're going to boycott WoW, and we're
I
giving them
feel
that
like
something else.
the kind of people who would pay $15 a month for a game like WoW probably aren't going to stop.
Well, a lot of people stopped. A lot of
Oh,
people
I'm sure. I'm sure.
have posted that they canceled their subscription, but they if that's their favorite type of game, they need to go somewhere else.
Fucking
And
Roblox.
that's I Roblox is not like an MMO, so you have
It really is though.
I not in the same kind of. Uh,
Okay.
I mean,
it's not.
maybe Roblox has a capability to be anything, really.
All right. Well, I guess so. I guess so. But at the same
Trying to arrange
time,
you to get on Roblox.
yeah, yeah. This
Huh.
is the conversation now. But if people want to go somewhere that's not WoW, that's like WoW, well, there's plenty of MMOs out there. Some of which are free. Like I play with Star Wars: The Old Republic. That one's all right, but it's not the greatest.
It's
Um,
it's not for everyone.
it's not for
Everyone's
everyone.
looking for a specific something, and
If you're
that just
looking,
might not be the something that they're looking for.
yeah, and a lot of people have been moving from WoW to Final Fantasy 14 anyway, all because of Asmongold. I think a bunch of like FF14 players were like spamming him in his chats and all that. It's like, oh, FF14 is like this and that, and he was just like sitting there trying to pick it apart, trying to say how FF14 was just terrible or whatever. And then
And
he
now he
actually
likes
tried
it.
it, and yeah, he tried it, and now he just loves it. And a lot of people followed him over to the point where they actually had to have put on different like server restrictions. Like if you are AFK before, you could be AFK for however long. I've had my character up there for a good 24 hours when I realized I left my computer on Final Fantasy. But now, if you're AFK for more than 30 minutes, you are logged out of the server because all the servers are flooded because of how many WoW players migrated over after Asmongold migrated over. So, and then
Nice.
shortly after that, the whole scandal thing happened. The lawsuit that California put against Activision Blizzard, and some of the stuff that's coming out about it is just it's disgusting. How like they had breastfeeding rooms, but there was no locks on it, and like guys could just walk in and just chill there in
Fucking
the
chill.
yeah, like they could go in the middle of someone breastfeeding their infant, and the reason behind these rooms is so that you could do so privately. You don't want to feel like people are staring at you or
Oh yeah,
whatever
for sure.
during that. Yeah, it just feels objectifying.
Yeah.
And not to be like a kill all men type thing, but a lot of men are pigs. Let's be honest here. You know,
They give other guys a bad name. People like that, if I'm going to be honest with you.
they do, but at the same time, it's like a a lot of terrible people give a lot of terrible people bad names. Um, I'm sorry, a lot of people bad names because like on one hand you got the pigs, and then on one hand you got the nice guys who are like, oh, I'm a nice person, but really they're not. They're just as bad. So there's no
Yeah.
there's you have to find a gray middle ground for
Yeah.
for people. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, a lot of people are just going to Final Fantasy and all
Yeah, I
that,
get
and that's what I would suggest. I mean, there are some that are completely free. Like I think DC Universe is online. I think that one is free, completely. So anyway, Star Wars: The Old Republic is completely free, and Final Fantasy is free up until level 60, and it gives you the Heavensward expansion too. So there's a lot of these options for people who are just getting off of WoW. A lot of better options, in my opinion, that are just free for a good time. The only thing you really have to pay for on Final Fantasy, you go up to level 60 and then it's done. Then after that, you have to pay for the expansions and all that. And I'm pretty sure they give you Heavensward for free. The Old Republic, I think, is completely free. The only thing that you pay for on there is just like the shop items and a subscription that gives you like benefits. It's not a pay to play. You could just play and not pay a dime to them. I think the same thing goes for DC Online.
Yeah, for sure. There are a lot of good alternatives. If I'm not mistaken, I think I said this earlier. I think Monster Hunter is on Game Pass for those of you who are on console. I mean, I've played a little bit of it. I'm not generally a fan of MMOs, but I mean, as far as it goes for me, they're pretty good.
I don't know if I would consider Monster Hunter World an MMO. You still
Really?
gotta connect to other people's worlds. You don't just randomly find people. At least
that
not
is true.
not from what I've experienced. It's a good
Yeah,
game. It's a good game. Don't get me wrong. I like it.
Yeah, you're right. I think you do have to deliberately look for other people, as in like join their worlds instead of you just being there. I think I don't know if this is also kind of comparable, but Ark is on Game Pass as well.
Ark Survival, I'm pretty sure that's more of like a Minecraft type of thing.
Hey, what about Rust?
That is also the same.
Yeah, that's more of like a DayZ type thing, if I'm not
Well, what about Ark Survival Evolve? Because you actually do find people just running around on that game.
Yeah, but Tristan was saying it's more so what's it called?
Like a realm.
Like a realm kind of. Fallout 76. I mean, it wasn't a fantastic game. Just my personal opinion.
Yeah, that
No,
one's also
it's
it's free on Game Pass.
It is.
So
We're just
there's
like-
that.
We're
Well,
not
I mean-
even sponsored by Microsoft.
We're not. We're not sponsored, but I would like to formally protest against Activision and what they allowed to happen. And if part of that is telling,
games on Game Pass.
we are. But what I'm saying, what I'm sitting here talking about these specific games for, is that WoW players who want to boycott Blizzard and Activision, they need somewhere to go. So we're just giving them all these options. Like, you could try this, you could try that. My personal favorite is Final Fantasy 14.
I'm actually I'm a WoW player, and I actually did try Final Fantasy 14, and I actually did enjoy it. Of course, I got to get back into it. I haven't played it in like a week or two, mainly because I just haven't been playing games for a couple weeks. But I actually did enjoy Final Fantasy 14. So for the people that are listening, I would give it a try. Of course, it's definitely going to be new. For the WoW players that are looking for something new, it's definitely going to be new to you, but it's really easy to get the hang. So I actually did quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I think Final Fantasy. I've tried so many different MMOs before, even like a mobile one. I think it was called like Evavion or something.
I might have heard that.
Yeah, and I liked Evavion, but I don't know where it is now, and I never stuck to it. But the only Final Fantasy, the only MMORPG I ever really stuck to was Final Fantasy, and maybe it's biased because someone really close to me plays it, but I don't know, the whole everything about it, the graphics, the party utilization, everything about it is just, I think, on point. The only problem I have with it, and there's probably this in every MMO, is the fetch quests, where I'm just running around and talking to this person just for them to go tell me to talk to some other person across the map. That is my only complaint about it. I think everything else about it is just amazing. But I'm pretty sure that every MMO has that, so I'm not going to really hold it against them. But as far as everything else, it's just, and plus, when it comes to the passion that the developers have, it's unmatched. It's, they have FanFest every year. The head of Final Fantasy actually was like working out intensively for, I think, 8 months, but I don't know if that number's correct, but for a long time, just to fit into a cosplay for one of the new classes that's going to be in Endwalker, which is the new expansion coming out in November. So, and then, there was one of the heads of like the music team had cancer and was hiding it until like after the fan fest. They, battling through cancer, but also, not letting that get in the way of his work to compose beautiful music, and it is beautiful music for Final Fantasy. It's just, there's so much that they do, and I think there was another time, I don't remember what exactly it was, but a fan in the crowd during FanFests asked for like one certain thing to be put into the game, and they responded with actually doing that. They actually listened to their fan base instead of, Activision. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. Out of all the options that are out there, I think Final Fantasy is like one of the best because the passion's there, and every company's there for money, but still, the passion's there, the care is there, everything about the game is just spot on and amazing. And they're really humbled too. Like even when they're beating even when they're beating WoW, because now they have like the most active players online. Yoshido, which is the head of Final Fantasy, he basically, like, during an interview, someone asked him like how he felt about surpassing WoW in number of players, and he said, "Well, it's not about beating them. We actually took like some inspiration from them, and just try to create a game that was like WoW but in Final Fantasy format." So that's what, and it was extremely humble. Like he beat the top MMO of since 2004, Jordan.
Something
I think
like
it came out for
it might
years.
have been the year before, but
yeah, and he finally beat them, and he just basically outright said, saying that we beat them is not, what we want. It's not, beneficial. It's just, no one's beating anybody. Just everyone has their own. Everyone has their own opinion.
That's a good way to look at it. I remember he actually said that he actually hushed the reporters because he said, "We haven't beat them," and I think he said that like we'll never beat them or something. And to go more on what you said, because they look up to the creators of WoW because of the game that they've created, which of course. I don't think they're looking up the Blizzard anymore.
Oh yeah, definitely not anymore.
Wouldn't know.
Definitely not anymore.
As a longtime WoW player, hearing about these allegations and the stuff that went on, I definitely didn't believe it at first. And then, like, looking more and actually doing my own research, it became true the more I just researched, and I was actually like really upset. And I'm not one of those people that, I guess you could say I'm not like die hard WoW fan, but it was actually a pretty big significant and had a pretty big significant impact on like my childhood. You would say. So I'm not one of those people that would like defend them, especially in a situation like this.
Right.
A lot of people, like WoW diehard fans, are defending something like this. And I don't know how they can do that.
See, what they... Well, sorry, go on.
No, that's pretty much all I had to say.
So, there was a thread that was sent into our... We have a personal hate channel for Activision now. But there was a thread. I mentioned to someone that, like, I don't know any controversy that surrounds Final Fantasy. And they had sent a thing through WoW. Like, you know that, like, little message board that people have on WoW? Yeah. So they
like forms.
Yeah, so they sent a form like that and said, "Oh, that's all I could find," and it was so flimsy. It was people talking about it, like what you said, like, "Oh, people are trying to defend it, and you don't know how they would defend such a thing." The way that they're defending it on that forum is saying, "See, Final Fantasy is going through has accusations like this." And what it was a long thread dating all the way back to 2019 to a video that was posted in 2019 that a male, it was claiming that a male victim was sexualized and sexually harassed, and actually sexually assaulted in Final Fantasy's. Sorry, he was a Kingdom Hearts 3 developer and a Final Fantasy 14 developer harassed him, and took advantage of him and all that. And HR did nothing about it. There was an executive that came from the company or corporate or whatever, came down and did nothing about it, even shamed him, saying that he must have enjoyed being assaulted. And the problem with that video is there's no evidence, because the only thing, I've tried to search for an actual article. The only source this guy had was a private email sent to him, and there was no names given. The only real detail was like, "Oh, I was a Kingdom Hearts 3 developer, and they were I think that they were supposed." So the assaulter was a Final Fantasy 14 developer. But aside from that, there was no details given. It was, the case at this point was 4 years old, because the guy said that in the email this happened 2 years ago, and the posting of it was 2019. So this supposedly happened 2017, and you would think after 2 years, there are NDAs and this and that, but I feel like there's a way around an NDA if you were actually sexually assaulted. So, yeah, it's just, I don't want to say that it's not real, but there's no given evidence to claim that it's real. So a lot of WoW players, I feel as though, are kind of hooking onto that video, saying, because right now, like I said, Final Fantasy 14 is probably their most their biggest competitor right now, where a lot of people are flocking to that, and a lot of like very loyal WoW players are like, see, Square Enix or Final Fantasy 14, they're they also have these claims, but I think there's a huge difference between some random email some random incel got than the state of California actually suing you for what you did. And all these stories that were coming out about different individuals and all that. So, maybe what happened in that video, maybe it did happen, but there's no evidence supporting that it did. So, that's how. About that. Sorry?
Not to cut in what you were saying. I was saying that I think everything that you just said, I think I actually might have heard that they were trying to come up with something against Square Enix or Final Fantasy. Stuff like this was happening in their department as well.
That's how. Well, that's to disclose my point. That's how a lot of WoW players are defending it, saying that Activision's not the only one. Basically saying, "Oh yeah, they did a horrible thing, but everyone does horrible things, which is a terrible way of defending it. But what you're saying is you heard a
similar thing.
A similar
I believe I have heard a similar thing like that.
For like Final Fantasy?
Right. The story that you said, just the exact same story that someone else was also saying that like a Twitch streamer. That they also got wind of that same thing, but they couldn't find any articles about it. Same stuff that you were just saying.
Yeah, there was me, my very close friend Mage, and his roommate were all just tearing apart that whole video, and everyone who watched that video, because the guy's comment sections alone was just big yikes. But yeah, it was there was no substantial evidence for this claim.
Yeah. I mean, this recent situation obviously is probably the most intense of any of the trouble they've got into, but this is not neither Activision nor Blizzard's first foray into getting in trouble in the public eye. I have some stuff pulled up here on my computer actually that I wanted to talk about, and one of these was. If you kept up with the news, you knew that in 2019 and 2020 there were a series of protests going on in Hong Kong, pretty much just over voting rights and stuff.
Oh,
and the way the Chinese Communist Party is, they can become very violent very quickly, and a lot of people inside and outside of China were standing in solidarity with the protesters. And there was a Hearthstone tournament, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, a streaming event. And there was one of these players who wore a similar mask to what they would wear, what the protesters in Hong Kong would wear, in order to not be detected by the Chinese Communist Party's facial recognition software, which would then lead them to be taken in, for questioning, and then sometimes people disappear, unfortunately, in those kinds of situations. And basically, Blizzard had this player forfeit $4,000 in prize money, just for standing in solidarity, as an attempt to bow to the Chinese Communist Party's censorship requirements for some corporations. And personally, I think it's ridiculous to put profit over people's actual lives. And there's no shortage of any tech company doing that, but I think it should be talked about. If you guys want to go after me, I have some more stuff about Activision once you guys are done.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of corporations, unfortunately, put profit over people. Like I was fired from Amazon for calling out sick during a global pandemic. So I, for one, know that large corporations like this are, just terrible. But Activision, I feel like protesting against it, I don't know if it would change anything. I mean, it's definitely not going to change like what happened to the women that work at Activision, especially not the one that took her own life, unfortunately. But it would kind of like boycotting them would, I don't know, try to open their eyes and say, we're the fan base and all the other individuals that give you money or are supposed to give you money are outraged about this, which is why I'm pissed about the people who can do something that don't, like the very loyal WoW players, sitting there and defending like, Final Fantasy also did this, and this and that did this, and I agree that a lot of big companies, and I'm not saying that Square Enix did, because like I said, there was no substantial evidence, but a lot of big companies, like I said, Amazon, me personally, don't care about their employees or even the people that they cater to. All they care about is getting revenue, and it's a disgusting form of practice.
Yeah, for sure. This isn't, and even then, this isn't Blizzard's first time getting in trouble with, more issues focused towards women in these sorts of issues, these sorts of things. I have this up pulled on my screen too, and someone in the Discord sent this to me, and I'm grateful that this is made aware. There was this one former pro World of Warcraft player And essentially she was 17 at the time, and she was going to BlizzCon, if I'm not mistaken. And at BlizzCon, there was a team whose team name was essentially, I'm gonna assault. I mean, it was obviously something worse than that, but you fill in the blanks. Assault, this player at BlizzCon. She was 17 at the time, and Blizzard did not really address this issue at all. Let alone the fact that they let a team with that name even compete is kind of disgusting.
Oh yeah, it's.
Wait a minute, they were gonna assault, and then that 17-year-old girl's profile name?
They were
at the end of it.
To clarify what Keraj said to you, Jordan, was that one of the I can't remember
what their name was. I got what their name was.
Right. They were saying that they were going to sexually assault a minor.
Right.
And and Activision just didn't really do anything about it.
This was before the merger, so this was just Blizzard at the time.
This is just Blizzard.
This is just Blizzard.
It was BlizzCon, so I mean, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and nothing was ever really said about that. But obviously, I missed a few seconds there. Just had some technical stuff going on. But yeah, the Blizzard did not really do anything about that, which was not ideal, obviously.
Yeah, that's terrible. So the company already has or Blizzard itself has a history of this, and Activision has a history of not caring. So it's not.
Activision, yeah. They definitely have. I know there are definitely ways to monitor stuff that goes over voice chat, because I think we've all been comms banned from Xbox at least once, not for saying anything terrible, just for calling someone stupid pretty much in the Xbox chat. So Activision, as you guys know, makes the Call of Duty series, and if any of you have been in a Call of Duty lobby, especially with someone who is any kind of minority or a woman, how violent it can get, how quickly, and the fact that Activision just kind of sits there and it seems like they're kind of egging on their community, because they're not really doing anything to address the rampant issue of this stuff going on in their lobbies.
Definitely not.
It's kind of telling. It really is kind of telling.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, and I know for a fact that there are measures that could be taken to prevent this and make the game more inclusive for everyone. I mean, Call of Duty, anyone who hasn't been living under a rock since the first Call of Duty came out, or multiplayer Call of Duty came out, knows that how toxic it can be. But they'd rather focus on collecting as much money from microtransactions as they could, rather than addressing female players being given rape threats. Sorry, can you take that out in post?
No. We're putting this as explicit. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
I feel like, given the topic, I feel like anyone who's going to be triggered by that word probably signed off and also agree. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, and these sorts of social things are terrible. And obviously that's at the forefront. But as far as financially goes too, treating their employees, Activision has not had the best record for that either. Because a few years ago, when Modern Warfare came out, they were that game was rife with just microtransactions. You pay $60 for a game. The Game Pass back then was what, $40, $30, $40, and then you got to pay for.
Was it
Modern Warfare?
Yes.
And then you got to pay for the dang loot boxes and COD points just to get any kind of customization for your guns. And this is at the same time where 2018 was one of their most profitable years ever, yet they were laying off employees, claiming that games have gotten too expensive to make. And this all just seems like them making excuses for not paying people just so they can release the same game, over and over and not really have any consequences, because they know their player base is going to keep buying these sorts of things. It doesn't really matter to them.
Yeah, it's. I remember the only type of care that they ever put out was during the first week, just the first week of Warzone, when they were like, "Oh, were putting all the cheaters in the same lobby with each other, which they stole that idea from, I think, Rockstar with the Bad Sport lobby. But that's beside the point. At least they were doing something. But after the first week, the cheaters were back in public lobbies and just raining hell. And not to mention, all the harassment and rape threats and lynching threats that the people get. Activision actually put out pride flags for on Modern Warfare. There were pride flags for calling cards, and I put mine up there, and they were like, the only thing I really got on that was being called the F slur a little more than usual. So it was just, their little tiny effort to be inclusive just painted a target on your back because of, people who are homophobic in that way. So it's just, minorities, women, LGBT, anything, not straight and white is, could be a target for harassment on Activision's games, and they would not care.
Yeah, and this by no means, at least for me, this does not extend just to Activision and Blizzard. This goes on everywhere. I don't think any company has really taken steps to kind of minimize that. I'm sure censoring stuff in the in text chat is one thing, but you can say whatever you want over voice chat most of the time. I doubt they really have monitors there, checking this kind of stuff out.
I think they do nowadays more than anything, because I think what was it, last year or the year before? I think both Microsoft and Sony came out and said that that they now have the ability to monitor every single party chat that goes on. And I think didn't they say something about how it was okay for other people to monitor their own parties? Because remember, you started seeing all these memes about the boys in court listening to their old Modern Warfare or Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I think that might have been last year. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
see, if you're in a private party with all whatever, and you have edgy humor, I'm not defending it really, but if you have edgy humor and everyone there is okay with what's being said, and it's not really hateful, it's more just offensive. That's one thing. But when you're going into public chats and seeing a pride flag or hearing a woman, and then you go straight to F slurs and rape threats, that's a whole different ball game when it comes to that. Do you want to elaborate on?
I'm just looking at all these different...
Who talks first? You talk first, I talk first?
Don't reference that. I'm just looking at all these people that were apologizing, even the ex-Blizzard boss. I don't know if he was the head or the CEO.
He's just the big boss.
Yeah, he was the big boss. Mike Morhaime, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He wrote, and I'm going to quote this whole thing, to the Blizzard women who experienced any of these things, I'm extremely sorry that I failed you. I hear you, I believe you, and I'm so sorry to have let you down. Of course, I have no idea when he was working, when he was the boss at the moment, and even the creator the co-creator for Diablo, Chris Metzen, also apologized. He said, quote, "We failed, and I'm sorry to all of you at Blizzard, those of you I know, and those of you whom I've never met. I offer you my very deepest apologies for the part I played in a culture that fostered harassment, inequality, and indifference." And I know that there was even a guy that did 12 years on the music of Blizzard or of World of Warcraft. He he put in a Twitter post, and of course I can't think of his name at the moment. He wrote in a Twitter post, I wish I could have gotten those 12 years back working at Blizzard. Like, part of me really wishes that something would happen where the people responsible would get fired, or, I'm not going to wish harm on people, but something's got to happen. I mean, this isn't, Asia,
right,
where the mob will literally chop off your finger if you are caught stealing in public. But
right.
something's
But
got to happen.
it's not really individuals at this point. It's like the company, because they in the IGN article they described the workplace as being run like a frat house, whereas like everyone
Yes.
is in on this toxic behavior. It's not an individual or set of individuals. It's how the whole company is kind of set up to work, or it's just like, oh, we could just be here. People are drunk at work, which like,
Yeah, I saw that
in
too.
some cases, as with Gold put it, as like, oh, that's like, a fun workplace. But when it divulges into actually like casually threatening to rape other female coworkers, then there's a huge issue with that. And I've only worked for 2 companies, but they took sexual harassment things very, very seriously. We went through training, what can be said, what's not said. It just baffles me that it got to a point where they were casually talking about raping their coworkers. Out of all the training of, out of like, both of the orientations I went to, and the training of, oh, you could be sexually harassing somebody by just saying this one little comment. That this one little comment to you might seem harmless, but to them, they might think that you're thinking certain things, and the way that they perceive it, what you say could be innocent to you, but the way they perceive it is not so innocent, and they're paranoid that you're thinking of them in certain ways, which makes sense. So it just baffles me that it went from that type of training to straight up saying that they were going to rape people, and Activision did nothing about it until finally they got sued.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then I found this. I sent this in our Down with Activision hate channel, and it's a tweet from one of the C-suite executives / I think it's one of a executive vice president of Blizzard. It was a tweet that posted an article from The Atlantic, which was pretty much criticizing whistleblowers. And someone retweeted it, and it's been reported that multiple Activision Blizzard employees have been blocked by this person for responding to their tweet. This executive's tweet, that they were blocked for responding to it. Obviously criticizing it because this, this huge scandal came out, and this executive is not even trying to do damage control in the very slightest, but in fact doubling down and criticizing the people who brought this issue to light, which just kind of shows. I'm sure this is all over corporate America. It's not just what's
Activision.
It's not just Activision Blizzard. Yeah, and it's just, how does someone lose their morals to the point where, after someone has taken their own life because of the harassment being so bad, this person can come out on the internet and with a straight face say that the whistleblower, their methods are not correct.
Yeah,
What exactly? Sorry. What exactly is a whistleblower, though?
Someone who essentially, whistles make a really loud sound. And a whistleblower is someone who kind of brings attention to a situation. Like, so say if, Jordan, you were working at Amazon, all right, and Jeff Bezos is like drinking Amazon employee blood from the warehouse that they collect in the grates or something, and you kind of come out and say, hey, Jeff Bezos is a literal vampire. and so you're a whistleblower, and the Amazon private police will be at your door to take you to Amazon private prison.
I love the way you described that because I feel like that would actually happen.
That's the Amazon task force right there.
Oh yeah,
Amazon SWAT team.
The Amazon SWAT team.
Yeah, they'll break down your door in 2 days or less.
You can pay extra now to get it kicked in immediately.
Same day door breaking.
Oh man, it would not surprise me if they actually had a SWAT team you could hire on Amazon.
Hey, Jeff is a literal vampire.
Yeah, you would be the whistleblower saying that Jeff Bezos is a literal vampire.
That makes sense.
Freaking employee blood. I truly believe that.
And this executive from Activision Blizzard, and I'll send you their company profile here. If you wanna put their email in the
description.
I would be more than happy to find it for you guys.
Sure. I mean, I'm gonna in the YouTube description. I'm not sure about the Spotify description. I'm gonna put the articles that you sent to the WoW hate chat.
The Activision CEO, Bobby Kotick, I guess that's how you pronounce his last name, actually responded on this whole thing. He said, I quote, I want to recognize and thank all those who have come forward in the past and in recent days. I so appreciate your courage. Every voice matters. We've heard that before. And we will do a better job of listening now and in the future. So, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, did they just not recognize that someone has taken their own life because of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to deflect that. They're trying to deflect that.
That's why I don't like Activision.
Yeah, but what about?
Oh, I'm sorry. There's more. I didn't see this. Our initial responses to the issue we faced together, and to your concerns, were quite frankly tone deaf. What? Oh, okay. Sorry, ADHD brain.
Can you elaborate for us? What you mean by?
I was ADHD brain for a moment. I didn't understand.
That's why I'm trying to get you back on track because I didn't understand it either.
Our initial response. Okay, wait. I so appreciate your courage. Every voice matters, and we will do a better job of listening now and in the future. Our initial responses to the issue we faced together, and to your concerns, were we are quite frankly tone deaf. Did that help you? Because that kind of helped.
I think just to translate it, because you kind of put it in really weird words, was that they were admitting that they were not recognizing the problem, which they were trying to deflect the problem. They were just like, oh, this didn't happen, that didn't happen. I feel like they tried to cover it up.
Oh,
and
no, they
it was
did.
Yeah. So yeah,
You know what? Look at this. Inside Blizzard developers' infamous Bill Cosby suite. The Cosby suite was more than just a nickname or a joke based on images and comments. Afrosabi, who was an actual, posted on. I think he's a player, but I think he's also. Hold on, I gotta scroll up a bit here. I think he's actually someone that actually plays the game. Afrosabi worked for Blizzard as recently as June 2020 when he apparently left the company with seemingly minimal mention to the confusion of the few fans who noticed his departure and thought, and though Afrosabi is gone, his presence still lingers in the World of Warcraft. Kotaku, who I'm getting this from, article, was able to confirm an existence of at least 2 NPCs that continue to bear his name, in addition to a number of items that directly reference to him. And now back to where I was reading originally. Afrosabi would pose with an actual portrait of Bill Cosby while smiling. it was also a hotspot for informal networking at BlizzCon. 3 sources told Kotaku. Kotaku were where people looking to make intros at the company would go to meet and hang out with some of its top designers. So it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's all.
I'm gonna copy and paste this link so that people can read it.
All right. Yeah, put it in the WoW hate chat. It's just. Oh, go on, Keraj.
I was trying to find the email of the executive at Blizzard so I could encourage people to let them know how they feel. And while I was looking, I saw on her LinkedIn page that she actually worked at the White House, and I think it's very concerning that we're letting people like this into our government, given the kind of stuff our government does, and her opinion on whistleblowers. Remember the executive?
Yes, okay.
Yeah. She. Let me see what she did with the White House again. She was the assistant to the president. Yeah, she was the assistant to the president for Homeland Security and Counterterrorism during the 2004 to 2008. That was the Bush administration, the second Bush administration.
You might have to help me real quick. Why were people emailing her about this?
No, I'm saying that people should email her about it.
About the whole Blizzard thing.
Yeah, because she's an executive at Blizzard, and she also said that whistleblowers.
See, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, she also said that whistleblowers are kind of in the wrong for being whistleblowers, and I sent that link in the Down with Blizzard channel there if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah, I already have it. Copied and ready to paste onto a YouTube description. Yeah, it's just. It's
what does
crazy.
It mean to... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
No, I'll get you back for this later. What does it mean to decry something?
You're gonna decry?
Get me back for this later. What the hell does that mean?
So pretty much it means like you're like publicly like denouncing it, I guess. Denounce and decry are pretty much like synonyms. Because
there's an article here that says Ubisoft workers decry industry's culture of abuse. A new open letter signed by almost 500 current and former Ubisoft employees announces their solidarity with the workers at Activision Blizzard, demands movement from their own leadership, and calls for systematic change across the entire video game industry. Oh, okay, so it sounds to me like they're kind of agreeing with the public that something needs to change. I mean, unless I read that wrong.
No, it sounds like you read it right, but Ubisoft is one to talk when this is a thing. I sent it down there in the Down with WoW channel.
Like this happened at Ubisoft as well?
Yes.
Oh, do I have to boycott Assassin's Creed too?
Oh no!
I don't think. I think they got it. I think it was.
They fixed
it. They got it fixed.
Okay, what to say?
Well, we'll see if they got it fixed. Otherwise,
oh my gosh!
They're gonna refund Valhalla.
They're gonna.
You bought it.
We're gonna have to throw a Warmhouse special. Maybe you shouldn't add that part in there.
Warmhouse special is not straight up saying Molotov, so it's.
Well, you just said okay.
Give me a moment.
Oh, melatonin man.
Melatonin man.
Keep talking.
Just man with the melatonin.
That's
a serious topic, and then just leave. All right. Yeah. I think this is more indicative of the tech field as a whole. As you guys know, most STEM fields are majority men, and this. I'm not, obviously I'm not saying all men do this because, that's just, it's not smart to imply something like that. Right.
But a lot of men do it.
A lot of men do it. And you can see this so much, like straight up video evidence, if you use TikTok. And I know you guys are going to say, oh, it's not a source, but like if it's in a lecture hall, it's one thing if other students are doing it, but it's a completely other if even the professors are joining in on it. And it's kind of just what kind of makes people think in that sort of way, treating people like that, essentially like they're lesser, and it's just the industry wide thing as well as it is just a, that whole field kind of has that issue, especially the tech field. I had a friend who went to school for aeronautical engineering, and she had to drop out of the school, and it's the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona Beach, and she had to drop out because of the harassment was just getting so bad. Um, if that, if that's indicative of something of what it's like for women in the field, it's not looking good.
Yeah. Whenever Jordan comes back, I want to discuss our involvement with Activision videos and all that on the YouTube channel.
Are you gonna put a mid-roll ad in here in this point?
Oh, yeah. Let's put a mid-roll ad. This is brought to you by Dr. Squatch.
I don't think we're allowed to say that.
Yeah, it's not. But no, I think you're legally allowed to. It's just like you don't get paid for it. You know what I mean? I don't think. Saying this is brought to you by, I guess that says that they're representing us.
I mean, if you used it to shower this morning, then technically it is brought to you by Dr. Squatch.
I mean, yeah.
Are we still doing the thing?
Yeah,
Jordan, melatonin man. Here, I sent you
just
something
brought
in
back to
general.
life.
No, I had to just my on. My gosh.
It's okay. It's okay, Jordan. Okay, so
You sure that
it's
not for melatonin?
melatonin. It's a gas leak. There's just a constant melatonin gas leak.
Melatonin inhaler.
Oh my gosh.
Melatonin
Okay.
vapes.
Activision Blizzard hires union busting firm as workers start to come together. When Activision Blizzard, a company currently under fire for its discriminatory practices and rampant sexual harassment issues, hires Wilmer Hale, a law firm with a representation for union busting, heads turn and brows frown. So, even though that the people that are working currently at WoW want to come together because they can't feel safe, they have to come together to make something happen. I'm hearing myself repeat.
That's weird. I don't know. It's not coming through me.
It's
Going through Tristan.
coming through Tristan.
What did I do?
Now
Echo.
Blizzard wants to say no unions, but I don't know. I just don't know. I don't see.
I think it's just a desperate attempt to damage control the situation.
Yeah.
No, it definitely is. But the people that are getting harassed have a right to create a union to send some type of message. I believe. And the fact that they want to silence them with a union busting law firm or whatever, it's just very dictatorish, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Dictatorship ish, yeah, something like that. But I don't know what the hell to do in a situation like this. Either just cancel the whole company, or because they won't fix their issues and fire 90% of the staff and hire new people, or what? What do you think would? Because, like you said, if it's the whole company at this point, because let's say it started out with maybe 10% of people doing it, and now 90% of people are doing it because they feel like it's the new normal, or it's people have lost track of how to act like a decent human being, because those other people were doing it, and people were just what's the word? They were impressionable, I guess, if that's the correct word. And that last remaining 10% of people that were being harassed I don't know if you should just like fire 90% of the staff, or somehow also fire like the higher ups. I don't know how you get
Just
away
fire
with that.
everybody. Just
Just
quit.
I don't know what you would do in a situation like this, because
Just
in
quit.
actuality,
They're really.
I
don't know.
don't want to see the company burned, but at this
I kind of
point,
do.
I know you do. I know you do. Like I said, I am in no way, shape, or form
Just
ever,
burn it
like
to
going
the
to be one of
ground.
those people that are going to defend actions like this. I'm not one of those people. I still love WoW for the game that it is, but I can't support the creators, the people that are doing all this stuff that they shouldn't be doing, or because in actuality it does affect the way that the game is produced, the way that the story is written. So if you're going to have a staff that acts like this, you're not going to have a good game. And also,
well, like I said, they do not care about having a good game. They just care about getting
right,
the money in.
Right. And I, it didn't always used to be like that. I don't know when this started exactly, but
the thing is, it did get to this point. Like, yeah, maybe something was good, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, but now that doesn't excuse for the problems now.
Oh no, I'm not saying that it does.
Okay, just wanted to translate.
Right. But I don't know what you would do in a situation like this. I really don't know how you could help something like this without hitting the reset button, nuking Blizzard off the map of California, and being like, just starting a new company called Blizzard. I don't freaking know.
No, honestly, at that point, it's just, I don't know what needs to happen, but doing the protests, I never really subbed to WoW, but I would definitely not be giving them $15 a month.
Oh no, definitely not. But
I'm not playing Call of Duty anymore, and just as a channel, I don't want to put any more Blizzard Activision related content out.
Yeah, we don't think we're going to be supplying them with views anymore.
And I'm feeling as though that we need to delete our Call of Duty videos as well. I'm already going to, after this podcast, I'm going to go and see my how many videos or raw footage that's Call of Duty, and just purge it.
On your computer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have any Call of Duty videos. I don't think I do.
Well,
it was just
you put out one.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. And
I might have deleted it right after, though. I mean, I could definitely look.
Well, either way, I'll go through and delete.
Yeah, you've got a lot of stuff on there, bud.
Yeah.
Tristan's like,
and I put them. I put them in folders.
Come from?
Yeah, I put them all in folders too, so I could just mass delete them right now. So,
yeah, I mean, definitely Activision. The only way you can get any corporation to really care about anything is to affect their wallets, and I think they really are hurting.
Well, let me stop you right there.
Sorry.
No, you finish, and then I'll comment. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Activision, their stock price has fell 8% in the last 5 days, which is a substantial amount, and it's still going down. So hopefully their stock, and anyone who holds Activision stock is in a financial place to just dump all their stock, which will drive the price even more down, and kind of just let Activision know that we are not happy with them.
When you said that, I was reading up on these people that were actually talking about the same subject, and they made some pretty good points, and if I could find it, I would reference it, but I can't at the moment. I know that one guy said that in actuality, they're not exactly hurting, because there are still people that are going to play WoW And a lot of people are saying that that's okay because they base their whole entire life around WoW, and that's how they make their money. To each their own. I really don't have a comment on that because I get it. At the same time, don't show support for the company right now or ever, if anything.
Well, that's the problem. Is a lot of these WoW players are, like I said, in that one thread alone, they were like, "Hey, Final Fantasy has the same accusations against them, even though that the accusations didn't hold up."
Right.
It was there's still a lot of WoW players that are just defending what happened.
There are those WoW players out there that won't defend it, but also will still play the game. I know Asmongold actually said in an interview with H3 podcast that he actually will still play WoW because he loves it. Because he's based pretty much his whole life up until this point around World of Warcraft. The reason why he still plays it, and he's been asked this before. Why do you still play it? And he simply just said, because I love the game. He loves it for what it is. Not showing support for the company at all in any way, shape, or form, but that just because he still loves the game.
Well,
so he did say that he would still.
I have to respectfully disagree with that notion because I personally paid $60 for Modern Warfare and personally paid I actually paid $90 for Cold War, and I wasted $150 on just the base games alone just to delete them now.
Right.
And I understand that how many years of a subscription may have costed more, but at the same time it's just like, if I could give up Cold War, and I love Cold War, if I could give that up, I just feel like it's not too hard to give up WoW for like a billion different things that are just so much better. Like I said, there's DC Universe Online, there's the Star Wars one, there's Final Fantasy 14, which is free all the way up to level 60, plus it gives you a free expansion. There's just so many different options that are like WoW that are not WoW, that do not have the same controversy as someone literally getting raped and then killing themselves.
Right.
There's so many different options. I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with the notion of still playing it because you like the game. I love the Call of Duty series. I love it, but I can't sit there and play a game that was made by just terrible corporate people and rapists.
Right. Shoot, I forgot where I was now.
Like I said, maybe some people will disagree with me. Maybe some people are like you and Asmongold, still play it because it's quote unquote a good game. But I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with the notion of that.
And that's understandable. That's totally understandable. Damn, I totally forgot what my point was. Tristan, help me. I can't. I have the same disease that you have.
Yeah, this happened on a different podcast. And
I know.
you want to revisit it.
Yeah, when Scott wasn't there, it was a Loki podcast. He wasn't there, and it was like, Tristan, help me. It's like, I can't.
I had the same thing, Jordan. Yeah, it was definitely an interesting moment.
That was it. It went on for like 5 minutes. Yeah, I remember I had to backtrack. Okay, wait, help me out here, Keraj. All right, he's Optimus priming. I can't.
Sorry.
Shit. I mentioned why Asmongold wasn't gonna quit. Oh yeah. Okay. So back to what you were saying, Keraj. They aren't actually gonna hurt, specifically because there's people that are still going to be playing it, and also
their
because
stock is down 8%. But yeah, go on.
Their stock is down, but as much money as they've accumulated for as long as it's been out, I don't think they're gonna be.
You know how stock prices work.
I'm not even talking about stock prices. I'm just talking about the amount of money that they have currently and
Yeah,
how
but if
long
there's-
it will take for them to just go through it all. You know what I
If
mean?
their stock price goes down, the amount of money that their company is worth also goes down,
Oh no, I know that.
regardless of how much money they're making.
I know that.
Melatonin, man.
Okay, thanks.
But yeah, bottom line is, boycotting them and, hurting their stock prices would probably be the way to go. Like I said, if you like WoW, you might enjoy Final Fantasy even more.
You might even like. I'm gonna add this in. You might even like Destiny 2 for those of you out there. I really like Destiny.
It's all right.
Yeah. I really like Destiny. Of course, I'm one of those people that Destiny's gotta love. People have a love-hate relationship with Destiny because, well, you probably just have to experience it for yourself. But,
I feel like Destiny 2 has a lot of potential, but doesn't live up to it.
Oh no, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I feel like there could be so much done with Destiny 2. It's a good game. Me personally, an MMO is like a second job, and I feel like that's how an MMO should be. And I'm already playing Final Fantasy and Star Wars. It's just Final Fantasy is just a third, fourth job that I just can't. I just don't have the time for. But honestly, it is a good game. I wouldn't compare it to the same playstyle as WoW. I mean, technically, it's kind of
definitely not.
It's kind of like an MMO mixed with Halo.
A lot of people compare it to Halo and Call of Duty, and if they had a child, and that's how I like to look at it too. Because literally, the company that made Halo, Bungie, and the people that make Call of Duty, Activision. So literally, it's their child. So.
Well, Activision has nothing. Oh, sorry, I was yawning. Activision has nothing to do about it now, do they?
No. It now. Your parents have split, and your mother has custody. I'm referencing my own life. I'm referencing my own life.
Jordan, you're 18. You have custody.
I'm 21. I now have custody over myself.
He's referencing before he turned into adult. So yeah, it's not like he's not like he's making fun of. Well, I guess he is making fun of people whose parents have split, but
now you guys are making me out to be the bad.
No, but he has gone through that himself. I feel like he has a little bit of a pass.
Not the past.
But anyway, yeah. So I guess by Jordan's words, you could still play Destiny 2 and not support Activision in any way. He says it's a pretty good game. For me personally, I personally played WoW for 10 levels, and I feel like a good alternative to that is Final Fantasy 14.
I also agree to this.
I feel like that's the best one you could do because number one, it's more of a fantasy based type of thing. Number two, it's free until level 60, and you get a free expansion with it. And the other games that like DC Universe Online, you have to be. I feel like you would have to be a DC fan to enjoy it a little bit. Same thing with Star Wars. You have to be a Star Wars fan to enjoy it a little bit. If you just so happen to be a DC or Star Wars fan, go right ahead to DC Universe Online or The Old Republic. Either one of those will do. But if you're not particularly a fan of either one, or you're just indifferent, then Final Fantasy would probably be the way to go. Either option is free for a good long while. So. And if you're a fan of the Call of Duty series, you still have the Battlefield series. They're coming out with. Keraj, help me with this. I know you know this. What Battlefield is it? Was it 2045? 42? 2042. Is that coming out in November?
Yes.
The next one's going to be 2043.
Jordan.
This guy.
This guy.
So yeah, they got new ones coming out for that, and I think a lot of them are free on Game Pass too, aren't they? Because they're part of EA, right?
EA, yeah, EA.
Yeah, so those are also free to go to if you have Game Pass, of course. If you just happen to be on Xbox and you have Game Pass, then yeah, they're free to play. So there are so many budget friendly options to go to that are not Activision related. So I think we put in most of our points, boycotting them,
Put in
suggesting
a solid hour and a half of points, Big Boss, Chief Boss.
yeah, and suggesting different alternative options to their games.
Yeah.
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 So yeah,
Well, this has been fun.
this has been
One
fun.
of the
This
Red
is
This is
what about Red
just-
Bull?
I said mid-roll, but okay.
Okay.
Another mid roll. Yeah.
Tristan, do we want to announce what we're doing now with the?
With the
This has been Resistance Radio.
yeah. Oh yeah. So basically, this is if you're new to this or new to this podcast, it probably won't matter to you, but the old Resistance Radio has been a total crap show. And most of it, like I said, we want to boycott Activision, and like half of our episodes of the old Resistance Radio is related to Call of Duties. So right now, I'm going to take those off of YouTube. I'm going to archive some of them, maybe have a few of them posted as quote-unquote Resistance Radio beta. But those old episodes are no longer part of Resistance Radio. This is what you're listening to right now is the official first episode of Resistance Radio, and we're going to keep on releasing bi-weekly every Monday at 6 a.m. Sorry, every other Monday at 6 a.m. on Spotify, YouTube, and we're trying to put out other things as well. Anchor put our stuff on Spotify and a few other websites that are not really that popular, but I will put those links down in the description or even the Spotify description below. So yeah, I think that's all we have, unless you gentlemen have anything else.
Nope.
Keraj?
I'm all good.
All right, this has been Resistance Radio. We also stream time to time. You can follow Jordan here at twitch.tv/hotpocket61. You can follow me at twitch.tv/ApolloYourKing. And of course, if you're not listening to this on YouTube, we have a YouTube channel. Unfortunately, we don't have a custom link, but the link will be down in the description. But if you search up just Chaotic Corp, that's our YouTube channel. We put out weekly gameplay videos, different podcasts, and we also have a secondary podcast, which is seasonal based, called Chaotic Corp, where we talk about different streaming shows and all that. The first season's about the first season of the podcast is about the 7th season of the Clone Wars, and so on and so forth. So each season is a totally different show for a totally different audience. But I would recommend giving that a listen to if you're currently watching anything that we are currently covering on that channel. So yeah, that's been the today's episode. Thank you all for listening.